Okay, so this is the 5 lessons that I've learned and our agency have learned through booking 900 meetings in the last 12 months for ourselves and our partners. Now, these are lessons that you can implement today in 2024 to boost your cold email results and just see better success all round with your client acquisition. So, jumping into lesson number 1 is you need a damn good offer, and that's no understatement. In 2024, having a good offer is key. Alex Hormozi's talked about this. It's still as important as ever. Having a good offer is the decision to buy or not to buy from a prospect. So as you can see, jumping into your offer versus your service, selling an offer is essentially selling an outcome. So say you're selling cold email marketing services like we do, you're selling an outcome of more booked meetings or more revenue. Same for if you're an advertising agency, you're selling more revenue. If you're selling a service, you're selling them a mechanism. So if you're going out into the market and selling a service, you might be saying, we sell cold email, or we'll help you with your cold email, we'll help you with your advertising. That's selling a service, as you can see. That's not selling an offer. We want to sell the offer. So we want to sell this one here. We want to sell an outcome. So as you can see here, I've got a service on the right and then an offer on the left. So for example, you might be an advertising agency that sells to e-commerce brands, and you might be selling landing page conversion. So you help their landing pages convert better. So as you can see that on the right, you might be saying, we help e-com brands landing pages convert better. I mean, that's a service. And then if you look on the left, even better, we'll add $500,000 to your e-com brand sales using our landing page conversion mechanism, or you don't pay. So I'm sure you can see the difference here between an offer and a service. You can see, which one would you buy if someone came to you and asked you? You might know this stuff already. It's been out for a while. Everyone's been using no-brainer offers, Alex Hormozi offers for a while. But it's still important, and people still forget to use them in their cold emails. So you want to be selling a Ferrari, not a tractor. Now, some examples of offers that you could use inside of your cold email, inside of your copy, to get people in the door into your agency or B2B business, foot in the door offers. Now, these are essentially a small sub offer from your main offer that is low risk, could be completed in 1 to 2 weeks, and solves a smaller problem of your larger service. So if you offer, advertising to e-com brands, like you do Facebook ads for them, you could solve a smaller problem, which is like fixing their ad account or something like that, and then attaching a nice offer to that as well, which essentially then naturally leads into your main service. So, you're fixing their ad account. It might be, you've said it will take 1 to 2 weeks to fix their ad account. You fix that problem and they start seeing results, and it's like, cool, what's the next step? Is for you to run it for them. So you naturally lead into the your main offer, and it's a really nice way to get your foot in the door with other businesses quickly and efficiently, and you can use this in your cold emails. So if you look down here, I've got a difference between the main offer we had before, which was like the no-brainer offer, the Alex Hormozi style offer, and then a smaller, lower commitment foot in the door offer up here. So you can see this is low risk, can be completed in 1 to 2 weeks, smaller problem, and then leads naturally into the main service, which is this one here. So I've said here, we'll split test a new e-com landing page. If it doesn't convert 5% better in 2 weeks, we'll charge you nothing. So essentially what that means is, normally, this agency that is working with e-com brands, fixing their landing pages, normally they'd be working on a monthly retainer every month, and they'd be, increasing their conversions through landing pages. But with this smaller offer, it's only in 2 weeks. So it's in just 2 weeks, they'll get a result in 2 weeks, or they'll be paying nothing. So essentially it eliminates all risk for that agency, or that e-com brand, allowing them to just get the results. And then if they get the results with this agency, they can go ahead and work with them longer term. I think this offer on the right is going to convert better in cold emails, in your sales. You're going to bring in a load more customers that you wouldn't normally bring in using this, rather than going out and just using this straight away in your cold emails. So test something like this out for your agency as well. It takes a little bit of time to get a good front-end offer, because you need it to be, sticky, something people actually want, solves a real pain point, and then naturally leads into your main service, because you don't want people to just use this little one-off service, and then from there, they don't use you, or they just take it in-house. You don't want to fix all of their problems with that first one. You want to fix, split your main service offering into 5 main problems you fix one of them, and it's like, cool, now they need to pay for the rest. And you could either do this for free, so you could have this is a free offering if you don't have many case studies, or you could do it for a low ticket. So $1,000, they get this. If it doesn't work, they charge nothing. So you could have it for free, or you could be paying for it, or people could be paying for it. Now, lesson 2 is going to be relevance. So relevance is key in your cold emails. Your cold emails need to be relevant to the person you're reaching out to. So as I was saying, offer and relevance go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Your offer needs to be relevant to the person you're reaching out to. So for example, if you're helping hair and beauty e-com brands with their landing page conversions, targeting a list of packaged goods e-com brands isn't going to be very relevant, and you're not going to see good results. But you might be like, oh, but they're e-com brands. But if your offer is, we help hair and beauty e-com brands with their landing page conversions, and you're reaching out to packaged goods e-com brands, you're not going to get good reply rates. So making sure that your offer aligns with the person you're reaching out to is key. No, it sounds simple, but people overlook this. So if you're helping hair and beauty e-com brands with their landing page conversions, and you send it to a list of beauty e-com brands, you're probably going to see a better conversion rate and reply rate on that. So you also need to find relevant pain points that your ICP struggles with. So for example, you don't want to be finding general pain points that e-com brands as a whole struggle with. So you don't want to go out and look for the main things that those people struggle with. You want to specifically find what hair and beauty e-com brands struggle with. So you want to find exactly what they struggle with, because then when they receive the email from you, it's relevant to them. They're like, oh yeah, I do struggle with that thing. You want to find that thing and put it in your cold emails. That's going to 100% increase your reply rate. And then you also want to call it out. State your offer that you've built for them. So you have an offer built for hair and beauty e-com brands. And then from there, this is the key point, you want to use a relevant case study to them. So for example, if you have a case study for hair and beauty e-com brands, I'm assuming you do if you're reaching out to them, you want to use that case study, because it's like, okay, I've received an email from someone that's called out exactly the pain point I'm struggling with. They have an offer for me which reverses all the risk, like the one we built up here with the front end offer. And they gave me a case study of someone that is like me that's achieved the result. So the likelihood of that person replying to you is much higher, because they can see that the likelihood of achieving the result you've offered them is high. So that's the key. You want to increase that perceived likelihood of something happening for them, or them getting the offer that you've stated. You want to make that as increased as possible. So lesson number 3 is going to be a pretty simple one. It's going to be making sure your prospects actually see your emails. Now, this might sound a bit stupid, but in 2024, email deliverability and landing in spam is at an all-time high. So deliverability here is key. I mean, it's the number one thing. There's no point in sending cold emails if your emails aren't landing in the inbox. So cold email since June specifically has been a lot harder. Google, Outlook, all of these major providers have rolled out, different and stricter terms and conditions around cold emailing. It's not banned, but they're limiting it and making it harder for us to do it. So we want to kind of avoid this by implementing the right strategies to be able to actually land in the inbox. So I've made a video on this prior, but if you haven't seen that, I'm just going to walk you through that now. So if you land in spam, like I said, there's no point in sending emails. Reply rates have gone from 5 to 7%, we've seen with some of our clients, down to about 1 to 2% in a month. So that's the way things are going with cold email at the moment. So how can you actually land in the inbox? So there's a few things I've outlined here. So number 1, you want to be sending 10 to 20 emails per account per day. So per email account and per domain, you want to be sending 10 to 20 emails per day. So that means if you have one domain and you have 3 email accounts under that domain, from the domain, you want to only send 10 to 20 emails per day, not 10 to 20 emails per account, only per account if you have one email under one account, one domain, if that makes sense. So that's the reason we want to do that is because the volume of emails coming from each email account is just massively dependent on landing in the inbox. I mean, we used to be sending about 50 emails per account per day, but now if you did that, they would just be going straight to spam, because the volume of emails that are sending the same email copy is just going to mean you trigger some spam filters. So you want to avoid that if possible. And then you also only want to send 10 to 20 warm-up emails per account per day. So in total, having maximum of 40 emails per account per day in total. So all emails you actually send from that account is 40. Or if you could ideally do 20 as the maximum, then you're going to have a much better time and those emails aren't going to burn out as quickly. So number 3, we want to have heavy spin tags on your email copy. So if you don't know what spin tags is, I'm not going to explain it here. Go and look it up. Just look up online what is spin tags, or go into ChatGPT, ask what is spin tags. But essentially what it does, I'll give you a quick overview. It basically spins the syntax in your emails. So for example, if you have different variants of something, it randomizes that to use those variants randomly. So for example, you might have hey, hi, or hello as as a spin tag in your email copy, and then it's going to basically randomize that. So for some emails it use hello, some it will use hi, etc., and it randomizes it. And this means that you can basically bypass some of the spam filters that look for copy that's exactly the same in your emails. So we want to do that for everything as much as possible, ideally, so every single email you send has a different combination of words. And that's pretty easy to do. Just in ChatGPT, just upload your copy and say, give me a spin tags version that creates 800,000 different variables, and it will give you one, and then you can upload that into your email sending software. So that requires a bit of work, but it's 100% worth it. We've seen massive reply rate boosts from people using heavy spin tags, which means that all your emails are different. We only want to be sending relevant emails. What that means is sending the right message to the right person. They're not going to mark it as spam, and more people are going to engage with it. It seems pretty straightforward, but it's true. If you send relevant cold emails, you're more likely to get people to reply. When they reply, the email providers don't think you're a spammer, and then they'll keep you out of spam. So that's key point number 4. And then number 5, we want domain rotations. That means you have 60 domains, for example. You want to be using 30 at one time, and then give them a break after a week, use the other 30, give them a break, use the other 30. This just changes the volume for each account and basically provides longevity for those domain accounts. It's something that you could try. We've been trying it ourselves and seeing some success with it. I wouldn't say it's night and day difference, but it's going to keep your domains healthy for longer. So you also want to be doing frequent domain health checks. So this means checking and using spam checkers to see if your email's landing in spam, checking your DNS settings are set up correctly all the time, because you can end up in IP block lists and different bad things like this if you're not checking your domain health. If you see a domain is flagged, it's landing in spam, whatever, put it on domain rotation, just keep it on warm up, whatever it is, keep it on that. And then once it's back to a normal healthy level, once you've checked it again, you can add it back into your sending, into your campaigns, and you can be using it again. So that's key point number 6. Number 7, we want to triple verify our lead lists. This is extremely important, as one of the rules now that Google and all these other email providers are using is if you have a bounce rate over 2%, you're basically just going straight into spam. So if you have a 3%, 4%, before 3, 4, 5% bounce rate was fine, it was considered, healthy, but we need to have a below 2%. So, and if it's on 2%, you probably do have a problem as well. We need it below that if possible, about 1%. So the way you can do that is by triple verifying your leads and using tools like Find Email, for example. If you look that up, it triple verifies all leads, or using Never Bounce or Million Verify. So these third-party verifiers, you might scrape your leads from Apollo, you might scrape them from Clay or wherever. And then what you want to do is upload them to these providers to triple verify them, and you can even use multiple ones. So you can use Million Verify and then put them into Find Email and then just verify them through that, because that will limit the amount of bounces you have massively. So that's key point number 7. So you might be thinking, this is going to be hard to scale. I'm only sending, I need to have loads of domain accounts because I'm only sending 10 to 20 email accounts. And that's just the way things have gone. You need to scale horizontally instead of vertically. So you need to scale horizontally instead of vertically. What that means is you're going to need to buy more domain accounts to scale your cold email campaigns. Before, you would scale your cold email campaigns by sending more emails from the same accounts. But now what you need to do is buy more accounts at lower volume to scale. And that's just the way things are going. It's just becoming more expensive, and what that does is increases the barrier to entry. So, example, if you have money to spend on cold email accounts, less people are going to be doing it, or less people are going to be doing it successfully and landing in the inbox. So this creates opportunity. So you just need to buy more accounts, make sure you're not landing in spam, and then you're going to be good. You're going to be able to access more of the market than you were before because there's less people competing with you. So lesson number 4 is going to be the order of importance, I think, inside of cold email. So if you have a look here, I've said deliverability, then your offer, then relevance, then your lead list, then personalization, and then cold email copy. So this is the order of relevance. So I think deliverability is the most important, and then copy. So I'm going to jump into why I think all of those are the way they are right now. So starting off with deliverability, it's key. If you're landing in spam, there's no point in doing the rest of these things. There's no point in having a good offer. There's no point in having a relevant cold email. There's no point in having a good lead list, personalization, or copy. If they're not landing in the inbox, there's no point. So that is number one, of course. Number two is 100% going to be your offer. Again, there's no point in having a relevant cold email, a lead list, because if there's no good offer, there's nothing to be relevant to. There's no relevance to attach the offer to. So you need to have a good offer for it to be relevant. Then, of course, the offer needs to be relevant to whoever you're sending it to, the lead list. So they go hand in hand, second place. And then it's who you're reaching out to. So these two need to be relevant to the people you're reaching out to. You need to have a good offer that's relevant to the people you're reaching out to. And that means by having a good list. If you have a good list of the right people, they're going to reply because the offer applies to them. Then from there, a nice bonus, because if you've got these 3 locked in, 4 locked in, you're gonna see results. Then from there, if that's working, you can add personalization. This is just going to maximize your results. You shouldn't start with personalization. You should start with these other ones, then personalize once it's working. And you've got a good offer that's relevant to the right lead list. And then finally is copy. I think that is the last and least important thing, because if you've got all of these out of check, writing an amazing cold email, if you write an amazing cold email that you think is amazing and it's not relevant, it doesn't have a good offer, and there's no personalization, and you don't land in the inbox, it's pointless. So I think copy comes last. All of these need to be in check, and that formulates the perfect email copy. So you shouldn't start with the goal of, let's write a good cold email. Start with these, make sure these are all in check, and your cold email copy will just come from that. So I think that's the order of importance inside a cold email in 2024. So if you follow this process when creating a campaign, making sure you've got good deliverability, having a good offer that is relevant to the right lead list, and then it's personalized, you can write a really nice email and you're not going to struggle. If you start the other way, it's just not going to work. So that's lesson number 4 for 2024. Lesson number 5 is just going to be a short one. It's going to be the content is key for cold email. So what I mean by this is creating content, just like the one you're seeing right now, is key for cold email. The reason I say this is when people receive an email from you, they're going to look you up. If you've ever received an email and you're slightly interested, you've looked them up. I know I do it all the time. You just want to make sure they're not an internet scammer. So that's what you do. You look them up, you see if they know what they're talking about, you see if they've got any content out there, see if there's any case studies, whatever it is, you're going to look them up before they reply to you. So you want to maximize the chances that they reply to you. So the way we do that is by having content, different things, and your website is optimized. You want everything to show up when they look up your name and your company. So for example, my business partner, Tom, if we look up his name and advanced client, you can see straight away that his LinkedIn comes up, CEO, advanced client, B2B growth, 900 sales calls, 2023. And then you can see his YouTube channel with 2,000 subscribers. You can see his LinkedIn. Again, you can see one of his YouTube. You can see his face. So if your profile picture is there and they can see your face, they're like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Oh, wow. That channel there has got 2,000 subscribers. Wow, that's cool. And then, he's on a podcast as well. So having this content is just going to massively increase your reply rate. It's one of those factors that you can't link up directly, but it does work. We've had clients that have no content and nothing online that don't do well. And then we've had clients that might have a less good offer, but they have lots of content and they're going to get loads of replies, and they've got loads of replies and close loads of deals from that. So content is key and social proof is key. So having this is vital for them to see online. So that's going to be the 5 lessons for 2024 that I think will increase your cold email success. This is booked, like I say, these lessons have booked over 900 meetings for our clients. These are the main things that I think have booked those 900 meetings. So go ahead, implement all of these today, get back to me and tell me how many more meetings you've booked.